Facebook early, but we late here on YouTube. So here we go. Now we are here. So sorry, YouTube. So sorry. Technical difficulties. You're right there. There you go. Everybody who's tuning in, again, those on Facebook, y'all are probably tuned out. You're like, what's going on? But anyways, here we go. Welcome back to A Degree of Dopeness live. Live where you're losing your earrings, right? If you have seen tonight's episode, Black History 365, then you saw the intro where I kind of dedicated the show to one of my good friends. And that good friend would be Mr. Mccraney right here. Say hello. Oh, there it goes. Yes. So Mr. Mccraney is joining us as a guest today on a very special live lecture. Professor Shelton is repping his HBCU right here. So Southern, I didn't go to an HBCU, but you did. So please tell everybody how you felt about that. Yeah, like did you?
I'm a huge advocate for HBCUs. In fact, I have a daughter that's just completed her freshman year.
Yes, hello, congratulations, Jacelyn.
Yes,
Can we say her name?
Baby girl. You can say it.
Okay, she's grown, so she's fine, right? Okay, I like that angle better, right? That's a much better angle. So I don't know what's going on earlier.
To HBCU, it was amazing. I can definitely say if I had not went to HBCU, I would not be where I am today. It was that whole extended family thing. You got to imagine you going to, and I was in the same state, still in Louisiana, but I was in a different city, like a good 4 or 5 hours away from Shreveport. And so you're going to a new place. You don't know really a lot of people, maybe a couple of friends that you went to high school with, that you went to college with, but you don't know a lot of people. So it's like, I'm in a whole new world. And I'm lost. And let's remind you, we have this newfound freedom, right? So like, I'm what, 19, 18, maybe 19, I think, my freshman year in college. So I'm an adult, and I'm living life.
Is that what that's called?
Oh, yes. I was an adult. I thought I was anyway.
Oh, in college. A different world.
Right. It was a totally different world. I like how you did that. That's dope. Come on. It's going to be a play on words tonight, guys. All night long. Right. Okay, so somebody's here, and they sent us a heart. They love it. Okay. Come on with those questions. But anyway, so it was an amazing experience. I will say that when I first started, that whole newfound freedom, like it was too much for me. And I lost it, became a young dad. On academic probation, just wilding out, like partying, because it was a party. And I had different people in my department, the history department. She was the secretary, Miss Armstrong. I'll never forget her, Miss Armstrong, if you ever come across this. I'm repping you out here. But she became like a mother to me. It was my work study. And she would be on top of me about being on time to work, making sure you go into classes. Because, of course, you can see all my grades. I was in the same department that I majored in. Miss Armstrong. Sharon Armstrong. Yep. She was a GSU graduate, by the way. So.
Grambling, shout out to my other best friend, Grambling, right? Okay, but apparently it didn't work because you're still late. And I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm 40 at this point. It's on me and God at this point.
It's on you and God. But here's the thing. So we talked about that on tonight's episode. If you did your pre-work, which I told you to do, watch the episode. It was really good. I didn't watch it with you. You watched it alone, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But as far as like being on time, why is it that we seem to struggle with this? And I know we touched on the conversation earlier, but here's the thing. Right now, even Taryn, I don't know if you guys saw him tonight on the episode. Shout out to Taryn. He's a fitness trainer for anybody who's interested. Yes, we will have the details. But for the most part, we are always trying to struggle with time. And Taryn made a great point on the show when he said that, sometimes we just, that's us.
Right.
But why should that be the excuse that that's us?
Right.
I found out very quickly why sometimes that is us in the midst of where we are right now, because I always like to keep our lectures very relevant and very today. Right. So the piece that I want to give you right now is about time. I actually shared with my supervisor / mentor about my new take on time. Let's just say in a nice way, she didn't really quite get it at first. But after I explained it to her about how I see time, maybe that will help us to prioritize time a little bit differently as a people, and just in general. I mean, it's not a stereotype that it's only Black people that's late. Right. I know a lot. Definitely not. There's a lot of people that are late. So here's a little time management skill that we want to give you. Start thinking about. Go back to that previous episode. You need to be. I got a notepad right here. Keisha set up the whole office. The past of y'all. She did real organized. Real organized. That's another thing about time management, staying organized. Yes. Knowing where everything is will save you time. Clutter right now is not your friend. So while you have this time to declutter and get rid of things that shouldn't be even part of your ownership, you should not even own some garments, and you know what I'm talking about, especially ladies. Some of these garments, throw them out. They're causing clutter, which is causing you time shuffling through things that you'll never use again. So really, really importantly, to get rid of things that are not a necessity. So that's a time management skill number one. What do you give as far as, because I know you struggle with it?
I do. It's a huge struggle.
And
I think it is preparation. My close friends know that I am a procrastinator. So if you tell me that there's a party at 8 o'clock, I probably won't start getting ready until about 7:30. And it's not that I purposely do it. I'm always telling myself, okay, you have to be somewhere. And I'm really working at it. I'm trying to set goals and things, but I have to tell myself, you have to be somewhere at this time. Like, go ahead and start, but it's that whole procrastination spirit. I will lay on the sofa.
But why wouldn't you just ask yourself or tell yourself, instead of telling yourself you got 15 minutes more as cushion, tell yourself that you have a deadline. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm very competitive. So I challenge myself every day to meet each deadline. Like, you will not catch me slipping. Like, the deadline is important to me. I remember a job interview, and by the way, another interview tip, because that's going to be coming up too. Oh, this one's gone. It's okay. I don't think anybody's on there, but if they are, I'm so sorry on LinkedIn. It's not really a big platform for me, so I don't really know, but here we go. So what was I saying? Time, right? So when you were trying to manage your time with the time management, I just completely lost when this went blank. Helping. I know that. I gave them the first one, which was staying organized. Second tip, were you paying attention? So see, that's the problem. That's a real world student. So we will apologize. I have horrible time management, but I'm trying. It's okay. We all do. We all do. We were talking about people who spend a lot of time doing unnecessary things. And if we time prioritize, right?
That was a very, very good point. Unnecessary things.
Yes.
Personally for myself, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Personally for myself, it's always something that I can do later, and I'm like, oh, if I finish it right now, I can go and do what I need to do and come back and finish it. But sometimes it's like that I have to finish this and then I can move on to the next thing. So I get stuck, and then I'm like, I gotta go.
But here's the thing: I can solve your problem and your problem very quickly. Here's the thing: in the new 2020, there is no time. The blessing that we have now is that time is still. When you ask people, oh, can you meet me at 7 for a conference call? The answer is usually yes, because why? They have to be home.
Right.
And they are home, so they're available. So the time is being freed up. And even just discussing how you maneuver through your day. I don't know about you, but I'm very, and I tell you guys all the time, I'm very like spiritual, I'm very like guided. So I get up in the morning and I ask God, like, what is my agenda for the day? Right. And every day I wake up more excited and more happy about the new thing that's going to happen in the day. So that kind of thing, just having an agenda, even if it's a spiritual agenda. If you're not a writer like me, I hate typing. But get yourself a spiritual agenda for the day, and then see how many things that you progress towards.
Or even something as simple as, not like this, I have just like a notebook, a regular notebook, and I just jot down a couple of notes. Sometimes you don't have to be as formal. You can be real informal about how you plan your day out or goals that you want to accomplish. And I want to get this done by a certain time. So when there are things I really have to do, I put my important things at the top of that list. Okay, I know I may not get through this list. Okay. It's 7 things on here. I may only hit these top 3, but believe those top 3 that may have deadlines or things, those are in that top category, so I can make sure I get those done. So just use like simple things, I would say, and just to get yourself going, it's a start. Even if, I think we were talking about one day, I was doing something prepping to come here, and I said, oh, I got this done today. And it was something really, really simple, like, I don't know, cleaning out a suitcase or something. Yeah, something like that. But things like that, and then I'm motivated. Okay, I got that done. And it really does. People say it really doesn't make a difference. But when you really like, especially when you have something really important to do, and you look at that, and I can check that off that list, that's a feeling. It's a good feeling.
Checks. Why is it the checks are so important to everybody?
If we want to, since we're talking about history, we want to go back. Just think about elementary school. Like when you got those, that spelling bee back, right? It was 5 or 10 questions, spelling words on there, and the teacher literally went down that paper, that composition paper, and check if you got it right or X if you got it wrong. So of course everybody wanted to see all checks. So I think that was just something that was probably embedded in us from elementary school. Like checks are good. So
it's a learned behavior.
It's a learned
behavior to be justified with the check. So be on time and you'll be justified with that check. Switching topics a little bit. I know we talked about like generations. We saw Otis the third. I don't know if you guys saw that tonight on tonight's episode out there. Otis the third. We were talking about how important it is to have family lineage. When you chose your HBCU and your daughter chose to go to the same alma mater, what was that? How did that make you feel passing on that heritage?
It was huge. And it's like it's a connection for us. But it was huge because neither one of my parents went to college. I mean, they were, I guess, self-taught. My mom was a teacher, so she was amazing by her mom. I'm sure her mom taught her. My dad was a truck driver, so they're kind of self-taught, but very well in their profession. But they didn't go to college. So I was one of the first ones to go to college. So I didn't have like a particular school that I wanted to go to. Of course, I had an uncle that went to Grambling, but that wasn't an option. Okay. But it was huge. Just like to say my daughter was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm going to Southern." I was like, that's really a big thing. And my thing was always like, I wanted her to experience more because we always want more for our kids than what we experience. So I wanted her to go out of the country or go out of the state to go to school. But when she said Southern, hey, I'm good with that as well.
Sure you are.
HBCU, and it's my alma mater and her mom's alma mater. So that's my baby's legacy. That's legacy.
It's legacy. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. Different route, but still different strokes for different folks, different patterns for different people, different participants. Right now, we're in the midst of because I'm going to transition a little bit because I know you guys are kind of like, oh, this is light and fluffy, but it's not always. Because if you saw the show, we have to be Black 365 days a year. I mean, no days off, right? Not that I would want them, but here it is. So here we are. In the time that we are, everybody has to know their place, know their legacy, know their role that they're about to be responsible for. So as we move into this time when we're dealing with protesters and we're dealing with pickets and we're dealing with ignorance and we're dealing with disgust and frustration, at the end of the day, we still all have a different platform. And right now we're choosing to take a stance right here in education for you guys because as Mr. Mccraney said, his knees ain't saying, you know what I'm saying? Like his back, like we're getting older. You gotta pick a platform. I'm a little mature. And here's the thing, I say that because I don't want anybody to feel guilty about this path that they're taking right now in the midst of everything that's going on. Just tuning in is making a choice to participate. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting enlightened. And that's part of the education. That's where we come in. Because I didn't just bring you anybody, right? Because though he's my best friend, and though he's handsome, I didn't just bring him here because he's cute. This guy has a degree in history, everybody. A degree in history. He's a research major. Black history knowledge is his thing. He has a library. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so Mr. Mccraney, what is it that you would tell people right now about the history of what's happening, what moment they're in time?
And I was thinking about what I would say when we talked about that, and it's history. It's history repeating itself. We've lived this before. We haven't actually lived it, but our race, our culture, who we are, our family, we've lived this before. And it's a saying like, if you don't know your history, you can easily repeat yourself. And so I'll give you a prime example because I wanted to kind of use this as a platform to talk about it. There was a picture that was going around, I can't remember, it was Martin Luther King and two other civil rights leaders, males, and they were walking hand in hand. And the picture said that he never looted, he never robbed, and maybe never killed. And so it was and I posted the picture because I thought it was deep. I thought it was a dope picture. It is. I mean, it's true. I posted that picture online, and a couple of friends, people were chiming in and saying how they felt about it. And some people I think were offended because I think they assumed that I was saying, hey, let's just have a peaceful protest. Like, let's not even fight back. Let's just lay down and take it. Yeah. And my take on it right now is let's review history and learn from it and move past it. We got to be able to move on. There's no way, if we're still doing the same thing that we were doing 60 and 70 years ago,
we haven't moved.
And
that's
where I'm at with it. And so we have to, but here's the thing, and it's so crazy how we're going from topic to topic, but they always tie together. Yeah. We're talking about time management, and we have that time now. And this is the issue that we've had so long, is that this has been happening. Like I said, this is history. It's happened over and over and over. I mean, we can go on and on from the beginning of time as far as that we can go back to. It's always been an issue of us being killed, violated, all that. But the thing is, how are we handling it and how are we going to do it differently? Because even though we were peaceful, we have been violent. Like none of these have been the answers. So now we have that time. Not only we have the time to just sit down and think about, okay, this is the issue and I see it and I'm aware and I acknowledge it. But what can I do for this movement? Yeah, and move forward with it.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to give them another tip as to what they can do right now. Because for me, it's more of a trigger. I like to awaken, my students, and then give you something to think about, and then you go home and decide what it is that you want to do. So my message to you right now is going to be, right now, when you have nothing but time on your hands, make sure, like we said, it's useful. And right now, when you have the ability to choose, because we talk about that in capitalism, the ability to choose, that's part of your rights. Choose smart. Choose right. Choose what feels right to you. And it does not have to feel right to somebody else. Because if it feels right to you to go out and march, then I suggest you get out there and march. Because let me tell you something. If it's rolling up in you, it's not going to stop until it gets to where it needs to be.
Right.
And then secondly, it's just a matter of knowing that whatever it is that you have to do, now is the time to do it.
Now's the time.
Your priorities should be so shifted right now that anything that is of major priority should be the first thing on your list. And let me tell you why that's so important and really an available opportunity right now, which may never be, because, and I hate to just say it because you know how we hate, popping the secrets for people, but at the end of the day, we have an ability right now to stay where we are and earn income. Right? Correct. And while your income is still coming in, that means there is no time being lost of how much work you should be putting in to get income. So if your income is coming in steadily, and you don't have to worry about where that part of where 90% of your brain functions come from during the day, right? Because during the day, we're normally focused on going to work, getting off work, what we got to do before work, what we got to do after work. Now that those things are not the first thing in our head, now that we can start reprioritizing work just a little bit, right? Now we can start thinking about what do we do? What do we prioritize? Prioritize family, prioritize people, prioritize care. And one of the great practices that I live by is be the example. And I know this sounds real crazy, but if you just be nice and you let that person over in the road, guess what? That person gonna let you over in the road. And right now we are in a time where we need to let everybody over in the road. Do you understand? So let them over. Guide them in here. Let the blinker on, flash your lights, whatever you got to do, because that's where we are. Everybody is off-roading of this particular system that we are on, and we are making changes and movements that need to be adjusted today for priorities that are relevant today. So, Mr. Mccraney, in this 2020 shift, what is one of your top priorities now that maybe weren't before?
I think the biggest thing I have been looking at, and I turned 40 last year, so never won 2020. So the biggest thing after I turned 40, I was thinking about like retirement and what happened next, because I've lived, I'm 40, and one of my good friends says it all the time, my yesterdays are more than my tomorrow. So this has been like a total wake up like call, like if there's a goal or something that I want to accomplish, like whatever it is I want to do, I realize this is the time. Now is the time. So I'm just like motivated right now. One of my biggest things I've been putting a lot of energy is into credit. Like I think one of your episodes, have we asked that? Did you ask that?
No, that's it.
So I can talk about it.
Credit.
Next week, we won't talk about it today. But yeah, so I've just really taken this time to focus on me, because of course when I'm working, when I'm in the building with the kids, it's a lot of stuff going on. So once you get off work, you don't have a whole lot of time for your personal growth and yourself. So I'm really taking this time to just focus on me and do some things that I really have wanted to do, but I just haven't had time. So now
focusing on you, yourselves right now. You only get one life.
Right.
And like I told you before, I'm fairly sure your purpose wasn't to wake up and do your job. So if you have this one shot and you have this one day and this one opportunity and nothing but time on your hand and income coming in, what is your risk? I teach business. Revenue, risk, business, all that stuff, they kind of go hand in hand. How much are you willing to put out there? How much are you willing to risk on yourself to see a change? Right. And that is what's happening right now in the world that we live in. People are risking jail. They are risking curfew. They are risking fines. You get what I'm saying? Because it's worth the change.
Right. Exactly.
Everything right now that you are deciding to do had better lead to a change on the other side. Because again, Birth canal, new shift.
Yeah.
Can't go back, here today. I know that we have a live audience here and we have a couple students. I want to reach out to you guys. BHCU out there posting about time management and some other stuff. Facebook, I know that there's somebody manning the Facebook chat. So I know that she's giving you information and stuff. We just can't see it, unfortunately. Oh, you can. Yes, you can. So let's be smarter. We're smarter, not harder, right? We may be 40, but we're not old. You know, we can handle a cell phone, hopefully, right? Yeah, okay. I'm a little worried. Oh, we got it. Okay. So, but just don't turn it on because then it echoes or something like that, right, y'all? So yeah, okay. But here we go. I like to pause, do a little temperature check because we are doing an hour-long episode tonight, an hour-long lecture for you. So I like to pause every 20 minutes, do a little cat, right? Classroom assessment technique, see what you guys got from it. So here we go. What did you get from the first portion? Like, what do you guys want to take from the 2020 shift? Like, did you do your homework? Right, we were talking about that. Anybody on there do their homework? No. Okay, well, that's fine. If not, we can keep going. We have plenty to discuss, all kinds of stuff. So if you saw the episode tonight, that means you know what's going on. So we're gonna move past that and get you into some new stuff. So the new stuff we wanted to talk about tonight was just the Black experience of what today looks like, okay? A lot of people are scared to go out, and that's okay. They are, because you were a little scared to go out today. Oh, yeah. Yes, you were very terrified.
And not only, at first it was the whole COVID-19. Like, I was really like shook by that just because it's like, I'm like, this is something out of a movie. But now with the whole, everything that's going on with every other day, someone is being killed. Like, it's like, okay, I am a Black man, and like, am I safe? Because sometimes I will say, I feel like I'm naive, like not so much as naive, but I'm just like, I'm kind of carefree, like going to the store, doing normal things like that lead to death. So now I'm just more cautious about that. And it's just always something to be more thoughtful about.
Absolutely. We should be aware, and I say that all the time. Don't be fearful, but don't be foolish. You know what I'm saying? Don't walk around with no mask and be flippant about it like it doesn't matter. We need you to be responsible, but don't live in fear, because this is the new world. So you better start slowly adjusting to what it is. And I find that every time I go out, I promise you people, it's okay. It's not as sad or as scary as you think it is. I know that today we sat down, and this is why I want to encourage you to go out, because I teach customer service. So I'm going to kind of wrap a couple of classes into this one lecture. So for most of it, the customer service side, as soon as we sat down to dine, we decided that we were going to, as soon as we left the house, we were like, we're going to go grab something to eat. We're going to come back home, and that's it. All right. So we get out in the streets, we run some errands. I see this lady in a parking lot, and she's making pizzas in the front of her Italian restaurant. Right. This used to be fine dining. You understand? Right. This was the kind of place that you go to and have a glass of wine, and they would seat you with the towel over your arm. And now she's serving pizza in a parking lot out of an oven. Do you understand where we are? That means she's in need. They're in need of business. So the longer that we hold out from going and returning to these businesses, the longer everybody's suffering. And I'm not saying go take your mask off, do it safely, because we gotta make the shift. Do you understand? If they can't tell us when to sit down, they can't tell us when to stay in, they can't tell us when it's gonna spread, not spread, coming back, not coming back, all these other kind of things. There's still so many question marks around. We don't have time for that kind of wait, okay? Because not only is it weight, but it's weight. Time wasted. And we ain't got that kind of weight, if you know what I mean. So I suggest you start thinking for yourselves and start making moves. So I make executive decisions for myself, and right now I'm making them for us until you scared, until I can loosen him up to make them for himself. But you're not. He was adamant. I don't want to sit here. I just want to go home. I said no. But what did I say?
It was nobody out there. It was open air, so I felt comfortable. But Even
the lady who came and sat out, she politely said, "Is it okay if I smoke my cigarette outside over there with you?" Absolutely, because we all got to live here. Right. We all got to be here. We all got to, you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing: the longer we take, the longer the businesses will be suffering. Right. We have to start getting comfortable in our new uncomfortableness, if that's a thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
how comfortable are you now? I mean, I know it's not, because you've already discussed with us that in 2020, you're a Black man. 2020, you're 40, got some health things going on, right? You're out here visiting me for a while, so we got some some national health, benefits coverage issues, so it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
I mean, like I said, it's a lot. You never know. You don't know what you're walking into as far as like, I'm going outside. I don't know if I'm gonna come take. We talked about your friend's mom today that went to work and got it. So simple, not got it, but came in contact with someone that had it. So that's it's just you never know. So you just have to. I'm always thinking about like the reality of it is when I walk out that door, that could be my last time walking out. We don't know. In the time that we living in, we got the COVID-19 out here. I could leave out and go get pulled over going to the gas station right now. So it's like I'm afraid. Yeah. If you want to be real and raw, I'm afraid. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like in my program director, now she's always, and I used to be like, she checks in a lot, but now I kind of get it, like because there's a lot going on, and like this is just a platform that we have to share. But think about all the people that are at home that don't have those connections with work and different things that are like really going through and like terrified, and like you don't have anybody to talk to. I will say, I always tell people, well, I've been saying, like, what has gotten me through this is, of course, red wine and just like being connected. Like Wanda and I would FaceTime like every day. Like I got friends that we Marco and Polo, and I can play Marco and Polo, Marco Polo. But I have friends that that's how we communicate and that's how we stay in touch. So it's things like that bring me through and kind of like reassure me, like, all right, we're good, we're gonna make it through this. But it's a scary time. Like it's scary. It really is.
And not only is it scary, but it's different. And change is always different, and change is always scary, and change is always new. But here's the thing about change. It's change. Like who doesn't get excited about freaking change?
Right. Well, okay. If I could just jump in.
Please jump. Go ahead. What is it?
Because I'm a stubborn person, so I'm kind of set in my way. So normally I don't adjust to change. Well, I'm always gonna be that person that if everybody's on board, I'm gonna probably be that person to be like, no, I need more information. What's going on? Why are we doing this?
All the details.
But I'm also that person that will get into change and be like, you know what, this is really good. And then I have to come back and say, hey, that was dope. I like that. What we did, this new thing is so much better. But change is something that you just have to experience, and so many of us are so comfortable in our box. Then, like when we have to get outside of the box, I'll give you a prime example, and I don't want to take over your lecture, but I can talk. But the prime example is before everything went down with COVID, my program director was saying how we need to be communicating more so on like GroupMe and different social media platforms and all that. And I was like, look, I got enough going on. I don't need all these alerts, all this, because it's irritating after a while. And I was like, I can't deal with it. And so I was like, push them back. And then here come COVID-19. So we can't go to work. So here we go to Zoom. And I'm like,
you should have learned all of that.
Not another Zoom. You know what I'm saying? But now I realized, and I had a conversation with her. I said, you were right. I said, this is the new way of life. And so the reality of it is with everything that's going on, whether it's what's happening to us right now as a people of color or as everyone is dealing with COVID, like things are changing. And I see it almost like, and this may be like a crazy way to describe it, but I see like the world right now as like a bulldozer, right? With the big wheels on it, and it's just going, and it's rolling, and it's taking people out. You understand? So it's like either you get with the program, you figure this out, or you get rolled over. You understand? Exactly.
A clean slate to start over. Yep. Everybody should be utilizing this clean freaking slate. I don't know how. Hey, Andy, welcome back. That's one of our students that that love to come in every week. But anyway, so Andy, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Here we are with a fresh start, and some of us are scared. I don't know about you, but I'm taking off. It's like somebody shot it off and said, you know what? On your mark, get set, ready, and go. They better. Because let me tell you, I'm out. I'm out on everything. I'm ahead of the diet. I'm ahead of the class. I'm ahead of that's a TV show. I'm ahead of a lot of things, right? We moving because you have to move, people. Time is moving. The change is moving. So I suggest you move with it. That's why it's called a movement.
Right.
Do you understand? You can't be a part of a movement standing still because it will run you over like a bulldozer. Okay? So get yourselves energized. And here are some other tips. We're talking about getting ready. You want one? I'm gonna give you one. It's for life. It's for life. You know. Okay. First of all, we already talked about choose happy, right? You wake up and you choose happy. Next one, choose smart, right? And then third one, choose Christ.
Happy, smart, and Christ. Okay.
In Christ. You want to know why? Because again, that sets the tempo for everything in your day. Every single thing in your day. If you already filled up with positive energy, it's a lot of idiosyncrasy credits, as they call them, that somebody would have to get in to dig at you. You know what I'm saying? To make a deficit. Like if you got millions and somebody took $20 from you, anymore. But here's the thing. But if you don't have any of that positivity built up in you before your day start, it don't take much to cash out.
It does not. But that was a good thing that you said. And I think that actually sets the tone, is choosing to be happy.
Yes.
Because I always hear people say that, like, you choose how your day is going to be. And it's really true. Like, but you have to be able to pull yourself, because you can wake up in a funk. You just got to be able to pull yourself out of that. So I think that's a huge thing to set yourself up for success for the day, is choosing happiness. Like, it's easy. So
set your face up shop on the side of my bed and wait for me in the morning. Like, I'm in a sleeping bag. You're like, good morning. Yeah. Not today. That's why I keep my Bible by my bed, because I know he'll be waiting. Like, no, sir. But yes, people will try you during your day. And in the midst of what we have going on, in the midst of where we live right now, in the midst of society, those tries are getting tougher and tougher, and they're coming harder. And what you don't want to do is let it take you so off guard that you lose who you are. Because you are who needs to be continuing out there, right? So as we reach a halfway point right now, I want to ask some of our students, like, how are you feeling? Because we never want to do a lecture where it's totally about us. We always want to make sure we're checking in on y'all. And Facebook, we have comments right here. YouTube, we have comments right here. Please let me know what it is that you guys need. Are you okay? Let's just do a general temperature check. It may not even be you. Like my neighbor, I don't know if I told you guys about my neighbor, and I told y'all she was bored, and I prayed for her.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guess what happened? Guess what happened not after I prayed for her, but like 4 days later, what she did? What she did, Jason?
All kinds of that.
All kinds of
basil, tomatoes. I use the basil to cook with. Fresh, not
tomatoes, fresh cilantro, fresh everything. She has a garden over there. Do you understand? She took time to stop. And I took time to stop because she reached over the fence and she said, you know what? But you like some fresh produce? And I said, absolutely. Because here's where we are. This lady has lived here for a very long time and I've never spoken to her. But now we have the time to sit down and talk. I know what she do for a living. I know what her dogs' names are. I know she got a garden, and she said, knock on the door anytime, let me know. Do you understand? These are times that are changing for the good. You get to talk to your neighbor. When we get out, we're probably going to see my neighbor right now. You know, like that is where we are. So please, hello. Oh, wow. Okay, let's shift. We here. Let's go. It's 9 o'clock in. I'm very, very stressed and need to talk to you ASAP. Absolutely. You have my number. And my students who have my number, you know you have my number. I don't even know why she is on here. You come talk to me after we get offline. Matter of fact, I'll call you. Stay tuned. But she's stressed. And I'm sure everybody is. And I'm going to take that real quick because obviously that's a sign. That's something we need to talk about. We got a lot of Black people that are stressed with high blood pressure, a lot of other things. What are you doing? What are you doing right now?
You know, I think a big thing for me is to meditate. Sometimes you have to take that time, and meditation can be anything. Whatever you do to relax yourself and bring you back to a center, that's what you need to do. And I meditate, I take my time and breathe, or even I do something that I really like. You can easily get into Netflix, and I know we're also talking about time management, but watching a show is an hour or two will take your mind off of totally whatever is going on. So just find a positive, healthy distraction, or either find something that you like to do. Because apparently, I'm about to be a gardener. You know, like I'm really into it. I'm about to grow my own rosemary. Like now, I'm finding ways to really like relieve that. And you'll be surprised of things that you never thought that would be like relaxing to you and calming. So think about that. That's a question. Ask yourself, like, what do I do that really calms me? And I really, when I do it, I'm at my best. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, no stress. There's something that we all do. I think that just takes all of our stress away, and healthy, positive, behaviors, of course.
Obviously, people look at behind our set and they're like, "What's going on back there? Is this how they handle their stress?" No, you see the same bottles at the same level every time you tune in. They just back there for decoration. But
I did say earlier that wine has helped me.
Wine does help. Oh, absolutely. I drink wine. Red wine is my thing. It's my meditation. I enjoy a glass of that and a piece of dark chocolate at night. Like even little things like that give me some kind of peace. But I will tell you, there is nothing more than like a daily devotional, or even just like you said, taking time out to go out back. Like I'm always out back, because that is where my calm comes from. Yeah. Like it is a soothing. And it's raining outside right now. We never get rain in Arizona. This is gonna be a beautiful evening when we wrap this lecture. But find things like that. Take peace in weather. There's natural beauties around you that you get to see. And I know where you live, because I used to live there, and they have some beautiful mountains and some beautiful woods. That is not a stereotype for Black people to hike. No, it is not. It's okay to go out there and hike. It is okay. If we have any hikers out there, please let us know. We'd love to go with you. I mean, we're not crazy, but we will find a way, right? All these things are ways of calming yourselves. And here's the thing, because it's Black History 365, so let's shift a little bit. What are some stereotypes? And I keep hearing and seeing this movement about counseling. And I feel like I just need to talk about that for a second, because even my own mentor suggested it for me. Right. And as much as people think I have my life together, there are so many things that I still need to talk about. Even though my best friend is a built-in counselor, he doesn't need to know the ins and outs of every single thing that I'm feeling. So being a counselor, how is it that you think not only Black people are feeling, but how you feeling, but these kids? Because he's a middle school counselor too, by the way, parents who want to get a little bit of insight to what your kids are going through. Go ahead.
So I think the stigma behind it is we always didn't have that luxury or that availability to be like, oh, let me go see my therapist.
That is true.
You understand? And then, and actually, if we really want to get back into it and go raw, a lot of us don't have that ability now. I was just talking to a good friend of mine today that was saying she was laid off and she was looking for new health insurance. Yes. So how can I go and see a counselor? I can't afford to go and speak to someone. No. I mean, I know they have different programs for different people that, you may fit into, where you can go and possibly see a counselor or a therapist for free, but that's not always the case, So sometimes I do have some resources. I definitely can get provide some resources.
Website too, by the way, missladymanagement.com. That is out and that is available. If you are interested in any type of resources that we talk about in the class, or just afterwards, something from Mr. Mccraney,
give me some. I love the research.
So yes, he said, give them a project, give them some homework, right? This is your chance to give your teachers some homework, your professors some homework, right?
Right.
But yeah, we are here. I love that. They said it's looked at as weak to have a counselor.
Really?
Yes, it can be seen.
I don't think I ever thought of it that way. And to be honest, if I can be real transparent, I've never seen a therapist. I've never seen a therapist. And I will say that I have been through a lot of traumatic experiences in my life. But I will say I have a strong relationship with God. So that has been my source to bring me through. But it's something I've thought about, and I'm sure it's something I definitely will do, because I always tell people, like, we all got some things to unpack. We just don't know the way about going. And so it's something I've also thought about, but I don't think it's seen. I don't think it's a weak thing, but I think people think, oh, if I'm going to see a therapist and my friends find out, oh, he's crazy. Like, what's wrong with him? What you got to go see a therapist about?
I don't think it's that. I think it's like you have a problem, like something's wrong with you, like you don't have it together. Right. Well, here's the clue. Nobody has it together. Mm-hmm. Not even the ones that are sitting here on YouTube with the pretty background. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not together. Yeah. We're all pieces of a puzzle that at some point in our lives have been shattered, but not shattered to destroy, shattered to share. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we go through trauma because we have to be able to share that with other people. And we don't realize that. We're thinking that we're going through this because of what we did or how we felt or our experience or why God me. No, baby. It's not, it's not you. It's maybe for someone else. And then if you're completely honest, absolutely. That's why I can't go to my best friend and tell him my deepest, darkest secret of my love life, because it's not for him.
Right.
You know, like I need a therapist to help work through those issues. We can talk about light surface stuff,
right,
because a lot of people forget that friendships need to start having surface level.
Of course.
Yeah. So go ahead. How is a lot of people always celebrating friend anniversary too coming up, right? I just had a friend anniversary on June 3rd, but we're celebrating a friend anniversary. Friends, how do you pick your friends? We talked about blood is thicker than water, and you said, because it was on the episode, if y'all watched it tonight. We talked about, do you think blood is thicker than water? And he actually, I heard him say, I want to talk about this tonight. I said,
everyone knows that I'm a huge family person. I'm all about family. But I think that whole saying blood is thicker than water, it is true. And I think it held much more truth in the past versus in the times that we're living in now. And just as an adult, I know I have friends that have been there for me more than I have like my own family. So it's just, I think that's it's a two-way street. It's thicker than water,
But how do you gain the title family? Because it doesn't come in the title of the name. It's not in the last name. So right, how do you get that?
It's relationships. It's relationships. On the episode that you aired earlier tonight, one of the students said that we were talking about the N-word, and he was saying how, like, if you give him a pass or not.
Yeah.
And he said there are some people that I know will ride with me to the grave.
Yeah.
So like there are people that regardless of where we are, what we go through, those people are gonna always have your back. Always. I have a good friend right now in Houston. Like I haven't spoke. We text every now and then, but like we went to college together. Like we were close. Like I'm like his kid's godfather, but we don't talk often. But I know he's one of those people that I can always depend on. He's like family. For prime example, he was there at my mom's funeral. Like people like that, things like that. That's
people that are bought in. People that have an investment in your heart and your spirit, and those people when you meet them. So friendships are very selective, and they should be. And I know in our communities we have a lot of things. And I don't know why I'm talking about this. Oh Lord, I get downloads from God. I feel like a computer sometimes.
No, I don't
want to do that. He's talking to me right now about like gang violence. I don't know why we think that is necessarily the title of family, and we judge our youth for joining gangs, but really they're joining families. They're trying to be a part of something bigger, and by the time they reach this point of a gang, it's because they've tried to reach out in between and they were never able to get anybody to catch up, catch on.
We need to be taking notes because this is a whole nother.
It is a whole other thing because we need that association. We were talking about having the thirds in the family, and a lot of families don't have the thirds of anything. You know what I'm saying? Not even a third income in some situations, let alone a third generational family. You understand? So when we're looking for that ownership, we're looking for it from someone. So when our friends become our family, it is because they have stepped up to the plate where others that have the same last name may not have. And I think that is where I need, I think the download to kind of shift for us to understand that family is bigger than that, because this right here is my brother, like there is there's no other, there's my brother, and we don't have the same last name, but at the end of the day, it's about loyalty and it's about being there for people that were there for you. And I'm going to shift because we're at 43 minutes and I told you we got an hour-long special and it's still, you do like to talk, but we're in a Black History 365. So I say that to say this, be there for the people that were there for you. You got to be loyal. So how are we being loyal right now to the people that are out there before us? Because I don't know if you've seen the graphics. I don't know if you've seen some of the discussions, but, the George Floyd and these types of things that are happening. And I won't speak on it because I will tell you right now, I'm like my sister, and I support my sister and I am Black and I love being Black, but that wasn't my purpose. You know what I'm saying? To delve into that piece. So please let us know what this means right now to support and be loyal for maybe they don't know. Give them a lecture.
I mean, it's a sense, like I said earlier when I was talking about the picture that I posted about with MLK. It's a stance that we have to take, saying, "Hey, this is what I can do right now." Like I've done the protests, I've done the marches, and I honestly, you probably will see me in one soon. I don't know, but using our platforms to do what we can to shed light on that. Like I'm sure if you looked at your page today, even mine, the graphics that we posted about George Floyd, like just things like that.
And I want to say that graphic was not created by a Black person. That graphic had nothing to do with being Black. That graphic had everything to do with community and understanding and loyalty.
And that's another big thing I cut you off when we talk about community. Yes. Something I heard today, and they were saying how there are more Caucasians out marching.
Yes, now I did see that. Thank you.
And not saying that we're not concerned. It's just that Caucasians are actually seeing like this shit. Excuse my French, is wrong. Like it's wrong. Like what's happening? Like so they're out there protesting.
You want to know why? You want to know why we're not out there? And here is where Professor Shelton comes in all the way. I do this lecture, and it's a lecture about expectancy theory. And if you've had me before, you know this lecture, and if you haven't, then stay tuned because it's really interesting. So, expectancy theory is this theory by Victor Vroom, who decided to say that people put in what they expect to get out of something.
Right.
And in between that, you have instrumentality, and you also have balance. And the balance is the value that is in between what you expect to get out of it. So let's say we go forward now. We have this action, right? And I always teach it in this way that I have my son, AJ, shout out AJ, I love you, and MD, my stepson, or former, former any family. So right. MD, that's his nickname, so we'll keep it that short. They're very different children. So MD was very smart, is very smart, right? Knows all the states, capitals, lecture, right. You name it, he got it. Knows that teeth, should be cleaned every night. Candy's bad for you. Flip it. We got AJ. AJ loved trick-or-treating. He would have the basket empty before he was done. Do you understand? Like he was a kid. He kind of had a good time. Like that was him. But I knew each of those kids so well that I knew that in order to motivate them, I had to learn what they were, what was of value to them. So I knew that with everybody, because this is a theory, right? So now we have this expectancy theory between these two children where I say, you know what? I need you to move. I need you guys to clean this room up right now. Right. And if you do, I'm going to take you to get some ice cream. And AJ goes, let's get this room together, right? MD sit on the edge of the bed and he's like, I'm good. I don't really want that ice cream. It's not good for me. Knock yourself out, bro. Whatever you want to do, right? I flip it and say, we go to the library if you clean up the room. Now MD's got the Windex, he's getting it all together, right? He's pulling his house together. AJ's like, what did I do? Why am I being punished? I'm really confused as why you're trying to drag me here. I don't see any value in this reward. So here's where we are in a community, right? We're here at expectancy theory. And I'm gonna say this blatant, okay? So African Americans, Black people, we have been doing this for a very long time, as Mr. Mccraney said. Wow. Our expectancy has been deflated because they don't see the value in our instrumentality. They don't see how instrumental we are as a people. Do you understand? So now we're deflated. So we at home now. But now we have non-Blacks and non-African Americans stepping up to the plate, right? Because they haven't felt the defeat that we felt so long, because we've been fighting for a little bit longer. But here's my thing. Very long time. But here's my thing. Black people, catch up. We got to get out here. We got to join, because that's how we do it. I absolutely understand that you are tired. You have reached a breaking point. You have no longer expected anything. But guess what? We're in a new time. We're in a new day. We're in a new energy. We're in a new moment. And we have all of the time until we get some value back and some understanding of how instrumental we are. So that way we can create a change. And now we can expect some differences. Right. Do you understand? Because we can expect differences if you keep serving us the same thing. Right. That's a learned behavior. That's another theory. We'll come back to that again because I am a professor. But again, when we're talking about what we put forward and what we put out, again, that reinforcement theory, all of that stuff talking about what we're tired of, what we're not putting forward, we put it forward. But guess what? Everything has a breaking point, and we have reached it. So don't give up now. The expectation that we had before should still be the expectation. And I'm going to say all that because even I have new expectations in life. I have new expectations in general, because everybody knows for my birthday, what are my expectations, Jason?
I don't think we have enough time.
No. I really want you to tell them. Like, how do I feel about my extravagance?
If you're on this, if you're watching right now, you know Professor Shelton, Wanda. You already know. So we
extravagance. However, this year, because there has to be a change. My birthday this year, I don't want anything. I will be 40. And you know what I want? I want to be part of history.
Come on.
Because on August 28th, the weekend of my 40th birthday, I'm going to the march.
Okay.
I'm going to DC because I don't know if y'all saw that announcement about the movement and the March on Washington, and August 28th, they were going to have an anniversary of that march, and we were going to now finally get our expectation. You understand? Like, they're not expecting us to show up.
Oh.
They're not expecting that. So here's the thing. I'm going to give up my birthday.
Oh, that's huge.
I'm going to give up my birthday. Oh, God. I'm okay with that decision. I have talked to God. He has told me your greater gift is to be a part of history. Because not nan bag, not nan cake, none of that can change this moment right here. And it's going to be amazing. So my students who have always wanted to come to one of my birthday parties, I'm going to personally invite you to Washington, D.C. Please join us. Please join us. We are going to be there. We are going to represent. We are going to have a good time. And if we stumble upon a go-go band while we're in D.C. or some Mambo songs, I will not be upset. Do you understand? So, Mr. Mccraney, we have 10 minutes left. I'd like to leave the floor open for comments and questions. So please. Oh, Janiqua, you will be there. You better be there. You have better be there. This, what did you call it? Extravagance. And this ain't even my extravaganza, people. I'm giving this up. This is our extravaganza, people.
Right. I'll just leave you guys. Stay safe. Stay connected. Again, we talked about dealing with stress right now because, again, I know this time is extremely stressful.
Oh God, yeah.
Just find ways to deflect that stress, relax yourself. We gotta stay connected and stay safe. That's all I can say right now.
Absolutely.
Even if you look on TV on CNN, people are at a loss of words. Like we don't know, and that's always my answer. People are like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot happening right now.
But you know, it's okay to not know. That's the problem. When people they feel like the struggle is the fact that they don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, but he knows.
Yep.
He knows, and you know he knows. So just turn it over. I promise you, I'm still on my experiment, and I like to leave you with homework. So I'm still on my experiment. If you watched the last lecture, you were participating in last class, right? Then you know that this experiment. I told you about it, right?
Probably so.
That he doesn't watch. It's okay. The experiment I told you about, me just listening to God and just kind of just following what He says and following my purpose and seeing what happens. Well,
is that an experiment?
It is. I've decided to just call it like a life experience.
I'm just listening to God.
Just listening, but it is. It's for me. I can follow instructions, and I'm a teacher, so I want to teach you how things happen. And so far, so good. We're doing okay. Any check-ins? Yes, we got some new YouTube people he done sent this way. He done got some new graphics. He done got all kinds of stuff. That is huge, and we still haven't left the house. So this is a great experiment that we got going on here, right?
This is about to be a Friday thing, guys. So I'm here for this.
Oh yes. Every TGIF, because people are like, when do you guys go live? TGIF. If you remember that back in the day, where every Friday at 7:00 they would have a live show. Oh shoot! I know. But yes, so we will be here every Friday, especially now that we are all on lockdown and in on curfew. So if you want to have somebody to talk to and you want to keep us company or you want to learn some things, we are here. So please come with your questions.
And I feel like I learn a lot through communication and conversation. So I love dialogue. So come with your questions. I want to talk. Like, this is fun. I thought I was going to be really nervous and not really be feeling this, but like, this is dope. I like it. Come on and share.
Share, please
I
share.
want my numbers up.
Oh, God.
But we want followers. This is what we want to do.
Here's the thing. A lot of people, I'm giving you a quick lesson on YouTube, and I'll probably shut it down once I give you this, but if you pass the message around, you understand. A lot of people don't know that YouTube is based off of hours. So in order to give you all of this free content and all of this great stuff, you have to build the hours watched. So when you click in, it doesn't really do as much as if you watch the entire thing. I don't even know if you got to really sit through it. I mean, you can just let it play in the background if my voice is that annoying, but that's how it works. So I found myself doing that for my friends now. Like I get on Annette Mint's, YouTube channel. She does natural hair too, by the way. Black people, shout out to some Black businesses. Oh, another one right here. Mo's barbecue, really good. They catered the show when we did the birthday episode because again, I love my birthday so much. I have recorded y'all a fake birthday party because you have to see it. You got to be a part of it.
Maybe that's why you did the party because you want to be.
I didn't know, but God knew. But again, y'all have a birthday party episode coming up, so stay tuned. But this one right here, he actually catered it, and it was really, really good, really good. I'm not just saying that, y'all know I don't just give all kinds of random spokesmanship and whatnot. No, I have to believe in the product. And it was really good. So shout out Mo's Barbecue. Thank you for that. That's a Black-owned business, people. Let's do that. Annette Mint on YouTube. She has a natural hair channel. She does a lot of great things. Anybody else? Because today we were looking for a t-shirt maker, a Black-owned business maker, brands, clothing, whatever it is. I was thinking about Black fragrances earlier. Like, where are they? Where are they? Please tell us. I would love to support. And then we could share, create a list. And if you have anything that you want to share or donate or you want us to sponsor, again, missladymanagement.com. We are taking all donations to keep this content going. We are trying to get as much news out there for everybody so that way we can continue to give you shows, continue to give your children these lessons in life, continue to give you lessons. Remember, there's an episode of credit coming up. Oh, now you're the credit expert. You won't talk about it next week. We'll talk about it next week. But yes, we're going to talk about a lot of things. But if you please, Bow for None. Yes, Bow for None. That is a Black-owned brand. It is not here in Phoenix. No, I think it's a Belizean because Andy gave us that one. I do believe that. Oh, I saw their stuff. Really good. Again, donate whatever you want. Again, this is free education, free class, where the tuition is whatever your heart tells you. We don't have no charges over here. We're just here giving you information. Charlie's Brownies, absolutely. The best vegan brownies ever. Shout out to Charlie. Absolutely. Keep them coming. Charlie. You haven't had them. Well, he has put me onto some very good food in California. In LA, if you can get out there, if you are vegan, yes, there are Black vegans. If you can get out there, that is a great restaurant. I mean, he has brought samples and they've all been amazing. So thank you for providing a healthy alternative and choice for us. Appreciate it so much. Anybody else, if you have any, let us know. We got 3 minutes, so we will shout out as many Black-owned businesses. I'm gonna tell you one I really used to like. Do you have any?
In DC.
Yes. Come on, DC, Chocolate City. Sweet Lovey. Yeah, are we gonna shout out the big ones in DC? Oohs and ahs. Oohs and ahs. Oohs and ahs, right? That is Black-owned. Yes. It's okay, but there's plenty. Steak and eggs. Oh my God. How did I almost forget steak and eggs in DC? Oh, that little diner will give you your life though. That little diner will give you your life. Don't ask. You'll thank me later. Biscuits and gravy. You will thank me later. But soul food. Oh, Soul 112. I love that. Yes, I've never tried it, but we will shout it out. And locally, we're in Arizona, so there are a couple Black-owned businesses here. Honey Pot. Yes, the Scrub. Dr. Wesley's daughter, Erica. Yes, Dennis, Black Dennis. Stephen, thank you. There are plenty of those. We have so many people. Support us. Oh, yes. Oh my God, why did I think of that? I will link you too. Definitely, I forgot. I gotta connect. There we go. Oh, it was like you told me Dennis, and I'm thinking, I don't know Dennis. I do know a Dennis. Got you one. Black-owned people. If you have anything, honeypot.com. That is a scrub, an all-natural body scrub. It literally helped me get rid of rosacea on my arm. But I had rosacea. Remember that? Yes. It was really, really bad. that. And it really, really healed all of that. And I have to reorder. It was wonderful. And I hope I have the right Dr. King. She said, Dennis, well, that's in New York. So, but shout her out anyways. We are here. Oh, counseling, anything, math services, tutoring service. We will help you. Virtually, we are here right now. Yes. Anything you want to say? We got a couple of seconds left.
I'm looking forward to the questions. Like I said, I love a good dialogue. And share. Let's
please share. If we don't know, we don't grow. And that's it.
And Black Lives Matter.
They do matter. And we love you and we thank you. MixLadyManagement.com. We appreciate the support. God bless. Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Bye. In this one. And then we'll end this.